So Katie was touring with Riverdance. She was doing 8 shows a week. She was working every single day. 70 people in the company of Riverdance when it tours. There's singers, there's a band, there's tech guys and support people. There's 40 dancers in this company when they tour. And they're 2 months into the tour. It's a grueling tour, working every day. They're down in Raleigh, North Carolina, and the dance captain had this idea for some fun. He heard that the Mega Millions lottery was at $360 million. And
so he suggested that we all do a syndicate ticket. It's like you pool your money, and the pool buys a pool of tickets. Everybody has a share in all the tickets. We just thought for some reason if we focused all our energy on this, we were going to win it.
What do you get when you fall in love?
So the idea is that each person's going to buy 5 tickets at $1 a ticket. Total purchase, 340 tickets. Which, if you think about it, really is not that many tickets compared to the millions they sell for the Mega Million lottery. But they did not devote a lot of time to the pure math of the situation. Math just seems so small-minded.
People even brought up theories of like quantum physics and how we're all energy. If we just focus our energy on winning this lottery, like if there would be dissenters that would be like, you know, the chances of us winning this would be like, no, you're the chink in the chain. We need to focus all our energy on winning the lottery.
And then it just became kind of like a group psychology thing, right? Like everybody's holding everybody else up.
It's kind of bizarre, like how worked up you can get yourself. And one of the girls even said she'd been reading like Deepak Chopra or something, and she was like, we can't say we're going to win the lottery. We have to say we've won the lottery. And then we'll win.
Okay, so the days pass, and as the Mega Millions lottery draws nearer, naturally they all started planning what they were going to do with all this money they were going to win. You don't want that kind of wad of money to fall into your lap without a plan. And so Katie was going to pay off her parents' house, and a lot of the young people in the company, they're all very young, right? Think, okay, this is how I'm going to finance my college education. And this is what they're talking about and planning and very excited about when it gets to the big night. The night of the Mega Millions drawing. It's a Tuesday night, it's a show night for them, of course, because every night is a show night for them. And backstage, before the show, they all kind of gather around in a huddle backstage, like you remember from that Madonna movie about her tour. And the dance captain knows it's time to rally the troops with a kind of Henry V sort of speech.
He kind of made this speech and said, you know, we want you to put all your energy into the show, and maybe we can win this thing.
You mean while you're dancing, you're sending that dancey energy through space?
Yes. Towards winning the lottery.
What do you get when you fall in love?
We kind of got worked up into a frenzy almost. Like, people were just going insane. There was one point where we're kind of like spinning in this circle in the middle, and usually you're kind of like, you, but people were like screaming. They were yelling things like, do it for the lotto!
Do you think the audience could hear it do it for the lotto?
I really hope not.
You can see why they would get so worked up over this, right? They hadn't had a day off for months, none of them. Which, I have to say, actually brings us to one of the difficult things about doing dance or performance as a job. And the way in which dance, I think, is probably harder than acting in like 8 plays a week.
You have to find ways to break up the monotony of doing something like that, because it's not even like you have a role to throw yourself into. So, to have something else to add to the show, or spice up the show, I think helps a lot, because otherwise you're just easily just going through emotions.
That's right, I hadn't thought about that. It's actually a job where you don't get a day off, and every single day you do exactly the same thing.
Yes.
And like exactly the same thing. Like it's not like other jobs where it sort of seems like you're doing the same thing, but you're actually talking to different people and you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You're you're actually like literally making exactly the same motions around the stage and uttering the same sounds out of your mouth. It's exactly the same every day.
Yeah. See, we try to find other ways to try to spice up the show. Like, okay, in this number, you have to do as many random 360-degree turns as you can.
Really?
Or in this one, you have to do as many head twitches as you can fit
I would remind you that these are dream jobs, right? Dream jobs that people really love. Monica here started training for her current job as a dancer when she was 7 years old. How many of you started for your job now when you were 7? Anna actually started at a more traditional age. She was 5. That's when you're supposed to start. You can see the difference between them. And this is the problem, I think, with anything that you perform on stage. Music, or dance, or theater, or acting, anything. I have to say, I understand this in a very limited way. In addition to doing the radio show I do on public radio, sometimes I go out and I give these talks about the radio show. And if I give 3 or 4 in a row, and it's the same talk, I find that I'll be standing on stage talking about things that could not mean more to me, right? Like, it means the world to me, this work that we're making and the mission we're on, and I'll hear the words come out of my mouth, and it's like, wah, 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 wah. Do you know what I mean? And I think that doing dance or theater or music or art of any kind, what it does as your job, the sheer repetition of it means taking something that means so much to you, and then you repeat it until it doesn't mean anything to you at all. Now, I have to say, on the night of the Mega Millions lottery, for this dance troupe, this was definitely not a problem.
The audience was really reacting to the amount of energy that we were putting out. They were going nuts. Like, they'd be breaking out into applause in the middle of numbers, and just like the amount of volume coming from the audience, like you could just tell. Definitely the best show on tour.